to the member for Lalor.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, the Albanese government absolutely recognises the harms that gambling can cause, and we take this matter seriously. Since 2022, the Albanese government has delivered the most significant online wagering harm reduction initiatives of the past decade, including launching BetStop and banning the use of credit cards for online wagering. Gambling, of course, can be insidious and create detrimental impacts on families. The Albanese government takes seriously our responsibility to protect Australians, particularly young and vulnerable people, from these harms. We know there is more work to do in this space, and we are committed to doing that work. However, we have already shown how seriously we take this matter. The Albanese government has undertaken the most significant gambling harm reduction measures in the past decade. Let me repeat that. It is this government that made the most important reforms to reduce gambling harm in the past decade. Already, we have banned the use of credit cards for online wagering because Australians should not be gambling with money that they do not have. This credit card ban means that companies who allow the use of credit cards, credit-related products and digital currencies may be liable for fines of up to $234,750. The credit card ban demonstrates our government's continued commitment to creating a safer online gambling environment underpinned by a robust legislative framework with strong consumer protections. We've also launched BetStop, the National Self-Exclusion Register. BetStop covers all Australian licensed interactive wagering service providers and enables Australians to self-exclude from a minimum of 3 months to a lifetime by registering free of charge and in a single interaction. BetStop is making an enormous difference to the lives of Australians. At 30th September this year, BetStop has recorded 49,382 registrations, and of those almost 50,000 registrations, there are 31,838 active exclusions. 79% of current BetStop registrants are aged 40 or under, while 39% of current registrants have chosen a lifetime ban. BetStop has changed lives for the better, giving Australians most at risk of gambling harm the support they need to self-exclude from interactive licensed wagering. Research conducted on behalf of ACMA with BetStop registrants found that 96% of those surveyed say they had either stopped betting completely or decreased the amount they were betting. Around 77% say they have experienced a better overall quality of life since registering. 79% have experienced improved mental health. 69% have experienced better personal relationships with family, friends and partners. The register has had a real impact on people's lives, with one participant stating, "I feel like I owe my happiness to BetStop. It gave me the ability to cut my losses and cravings with a hard stop on betting in Australia. I just want to say thanks. I don't think I'd be alive today or have my wife or be happy without BetStop and my wife's support." ACMA is also cracking down on compliance. In May 2025, the ACMA penalised gambling company Unibet $1 million for failing to disclose the accounts of customers who had registered with BetStop. Now, complementing the launch of BetStop, the government also introduced mandatory customer pre-verification, requiring wagering service providers to verify a customer's identity when they register for a new account and before they can place a bet. We've also forced online wagering companies to send their customers monthly activity statements outlining wins and losses, so those who do gamble understand their outcomes. To ensure that there's not just regulation and preemptive restrictions, our government has also provided direct funding for specialist financial counselling to support people affected by problem gambling. Counsellors can provide support including access to information, advocacy and/or negotiation, referrals to other services and education. This government is also acting on new technology and how it creates harmful gambling content, and that's why we've introduced new minimum classifications for video games with gambling-like content. The changes respond to growing community concerns about the potential harms of children accessing gambling-like content in computer games. Research by the Australian Institute of Family Studies found that young people who played simulated gambling games were 40% more likely to spend real money on gambling as young adults. The changes mean that computer games containing in-game purchases linked to elements of chance, such as paid loot boxes, receive a minimum classification of M. Computer games containing simulated gambling, such as social casino games, will be legally restricted to adults only with a minimum classification of R 18+. Our government has also introduced new evidence-based taglines in wagering advertising, such as "Chances are you're about to lose." And we've also introduced nationally consistent staff training, which means that all staff involved in online gambling industry will be required to undertake training in the responsible services of online wagering. This reform will help reduce harm by creating a culture of safer gambling within wagering organisations nationally. The facts are Australians lose too much money to gambling, and that's why we have acted with such significant reforms. Australians lost $32.2 billion to the gambling industry in 23-24. In 23-24, wagering losses accounted for 26% of all gambling losses. In 2025, 65.1% of young Australian adults participated in at least one form of gambling. In 2025, 19.4% of Australian adults reported gambling at risky levels in the past year. These stats are concerning, and it's why we've taken action. We know minimising the harm caused by online gambling is not a set-and-forget exercise, and our government will continue to work on further positive changes. We do take this matter seriously. As a government, we have delivered the most significant online wagering harm reduction initiatives of the past decade, attacking complex problems with complex responses. We know there is more work to do, and we are getting on with that work.